We are live. What's going on? What's up, Hank? What's up, Classy? How you guys doing? How's everybody doing? I was just reading that thing on Conor McGregor. Did you guys see that? They're saying that he was found guilty, but he's just paying damages, so I don't think he's getting any jail time, is what it looks like. I don't understand. I don't know if we have all the details yet. But yeah. You watch my videos with your meat out? That's suspect as fuck, dude. What's up, Craze? How you doing, man? What's up, Classy? How you doing? Yeah, top of the morning to you. No, it's past. I'm on the East Coast, so it's afternoon now, but we'll pretend it's the morning. So that's crazy with Conor, man. I don't know that he's ever fighting again, which I think we all knew that. I think we all kind of were getting the vibe that we're never going to see him fight again. So I don't know. I've always thought he was a piece of shit. Am I staying up late to watch the fights? No, I'm just going to get up because I go to bed early usually. So I'm just going to go to bed early and then get up early. Yeah, Conor, I don't know. And the worst part about it is he has a wife, dude. Like he acts like he is like a bachelor all the time. I don't understand. He's just it's not a good example anymore. You know, back in the day he used to be. And then this is what happens when, I guess when people, I don't know. Thoughts on Nutsack MMA's channel? I don't know who that is. Are they officially married? I don't know. That's a good question. Aren't they engaged or something? I don't know how they weren't married because they've been together for years, like literally years. I guess Conor, that should have been a red flag. I don't know. That's weird. Probably just a main card. If I'm up early enough, maybe I'll catch some of the prelims, but I'll probably just watch it back. But yeah, mainly the main card. What's up, Rocco? He was found guilty. So it doesn't look like he's getting any jail time. It just looks like it's going to be like he has to pay damages or whatever. So I don't know. I wasn't going to react to it or do anything like that yet. Yeah, it was a civil case. Yeah. Because I think back then there wasn't enough, whatever the deal was to not have it go, to a criminal case. So now I think it was only a civil case. So, I don't want to say that's like better because you still did something bad, but like in terms of like your punishment, it's usually, I'm pretty sure, a little lighter if it's going to be a civil case and not a criminal case. So I'm not a law guy, but you know what I mean? I feel like we all kind of have a general understanding of what the fuck's going on. So, but that's always been my point about Conor. Talented fighter back in the day, not the same dude anymore. He's a guy that I feel like everyone that likes MMA kind of took some inspiration from, whether you liked him or not. But over the past several years, he's just became a very unlikable person. And he blocked me actually on X a while ago. I don't know. I was just saying things that I wasn't like even tweeting at him. So I don't know how he saw the tweets or it's very weird. So a lot of it was around the time of like the injury for the Chandler fight, And then I think part of it was, I think I retweeted something from Habib years ago that was like calling him a rapist and all the allegations were coming out or whatever or something. And I don't know, man. It is disappointing. And this like happens, I feel like, in a lot of different things, in football and, just people that become celebrities. Because Conor's like more than fighting, he's like one of the few fighters that like became this, like global star or whatever. And then, I don't know, the money just gets to your head and, you kind of turn into you feel like you're on like a power trip all the time, I guess. So. But good fight night this weekend. Decent fight night, I should say. There's some interesting fights. I did a main card breakdown if anyone's interested in that, and then I did Piotr Jan versus Davis and Figueiredo, a separate breakdown for that. Thoughts on Kavanaugh? Kavanaugh's fight? Yeah, the dude that he's fighting, I'm pretty sure is a shoot to box dude. So it's gonna be a hard fight because their shoot to box guys all fight like mini Oliveras. They have like good Muay Thai. They're aggressive. They like to put you on the back foot. Um, I think Kavanaugh should be able to win though because he's got good boxing and he's quick. So, and a lot of those Muay Thai guys, they don't move their head a whole lot, so their head's right on the center line. So if you can just time a good shot down the middle, you can, usually hurt them. So I think Loner Kavanaugh will do just fine. You're hoping you wake up to the main card or the main event. Yeah, I mean, the main card, I think I could be wrong, but I think it's going to go quick because I think that there's going to be there's going to be some finishes. I think that Zhang Min Yang, that fight, that's going to be a finish. What else? Alberg, Uzdemir, I think that'll be a finish. The Wong Kong's fight, I think that'll be a finish. The only one that I'm not sure if it'll be a finish on the main card will be Salikov versus Kanan. That's the only one where I'm like, I just don't know because they both are, Salikov is old, and then Song Kanan fights like he's old. So I don't know. Main card or the main can't talk, dude. Main event. I could see there being a finish from Jan. If Figgy's going to win, I think it would be by finish, but I think Jan beats him. I think maybe he's able to get him out of there in the later rounds, or if not, he just beats him up for, 5 rounds. I think the first round, it might look kind of close. And then after that, I expect Jan to take over. So I think that this is actually a pretty good matchup for Jan. I just get scared whenever there's someone that has a grappling and submission threat at this point. But again, these people are, Figueiredo is not Marab, and he's also not Aljo. First rule: publicity, which equals marketing, which equals money for all involved. Good publicity can't but a ham sandwich. Bad publicity can literally hand you the world if you're famous enough. I mean, it's going to get Connor's name in the thing again. So I don't know. I don't know what to think of Connor anymore. I just don't think he's fighting again. Yeah, Kanan fights like he's underwater. Yeah, he's like, I don't know, man. Like he landed a good shot on Ian Gary, but outside of that, he's, he fought Glenn in his last matchup, Ricky Glenn, so I don't know. I think that Salikov can do very well in that fight. I think that he moves much better. I think he's a little bit quicker, even though he's 40. I think that Song fights like he's 40, and Salikov fights like he's younger. So I don't know. I don't know, man. But people are like, "Oh, the card's shit." I don't think it's shit. I think it's a solid card. It's just early as hell, and I don't want to get too far off my schedule by staying up too late, getting up too damn early. One of those things. I usually get up at somewhere between like 4 and 5:30, depending on the days, a.m., and then go to bed by like 9. But I don't know. Like I said, main card will be good. But UFC, did you guys see Magomed Ankalaev's account? Well, again, it's probably Ali on there tweeting. But he was like saying that he'll fight Poatan in March and then give him a rematch at this time and this and that. And I'm like, dude, why in March? That's when, Ramadan will be underway. So I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Ricci's getting messed up, and you would be surprised if she somehow wins. I would be surprised if Ricci wins. The only way that she wins, obviously, is with the grappling. Like that's the only way she wins is if she's able to control Jan with the grappling. That's it. Because on the feet, she's going to get picked apart. She's going to get lit up. But again, I mean, I don't know. I just don't know. But I was also going back watching on Tom Aspinall's YouTube. He's got some training footage. There's this one where he's like, I sparred with 4 monsters or something, and they have these 4 heavyweights that rotate in for some sparring. And I got to be honest, like I know sparring is different than fighting, but I'm like, I think John has a little bit more of a chance than what some people might want to say, dude. The way he was getting taken down, and I know that he was in there against some high level grapplers, but I don't know, man. I don't know. And John, I think, was teasing that he's back in training already and everything. So I wonder if we'll get him and if we'll get Jones versus Aspinall. I think that's one of the biggest fights they can make for sure. And I do see a path to victory for both guys. Aspinall in the first round, getting it done with the hands, and then John kind of playing the slow, methodical game, being real smart, moving, throwing those kicks just like he did against Stipe, utilizing the wrestling. I could see John winning, but I tend to favor Aspinall though because he's younger and he's explosive. But I'm excited for Jan versus Figgy, man, because when you go back and you watch like the film, sometimes it's like, I don't know, like it seems a little bit like, maybe Figgy could get a takedown, maybe he could sub Jan. And in my opinion, that's his way to win. Because in terms of the striking, I think Jan is like light years better. It's just a matter of if Figgy can land one real good shot. Because he does a pretty, he is pretty like fast on the feet when he does decide to throw something. But I think Jan beats him up. I really do. I think it'll look like kind of like a masterclass like performance to where it starts slow. He'll start to build. He'll attack the legs. And the other thing too, Jan can switch stances really well. I don't think I mentioned that in my video, but he switches stances really well. Figgy's got a good power low kick, but the problem is I think Jan's going to try to go southpaw to take that away. And that low kick for some reason has actually given Jan some issues, right? Against I think Song was landing some, Merab was really landing some. That was actually an underrated weapon in the Merab Jan fight, was that calf kick that Merab was throwing. He like hurt Jan's leg with that. I mean, obviously it's a little bit different because you're so worried about the grappling, but with Merab, that it's going to make, it's going to open up some shots on the feet, but I don't know, man. I don't know. And then the Alberg versus Volkan Oezdemir fight is a good one because I think that Volkan absolutely has the power to put anyone out in the division. But I just think Alberg is too fast, too quick. His footwork is good. He's going to be, not in range to be hit. So what's up, Jack? You can't wait for Merab to call for Jan in March instead of Umar. That might happen. That might happen, man. But I don't know what's going to happen with Umar, to be honest with you, because it doesn't sound like he's going to be getting the next shot. And maybe he is, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But it sounds like they're going to try to do O'Malley versus Merab again for the rematch. And then where does that leave Umar? Maybe they try to book Umar versus Jan if Jan wins this, or if Figgy wins, or whoever wins, maybe versus Umar. But I'd like to see Song and Umar. What's up, Tehran? How you doing? Is Song versus Umar still happening? I mean, I haven't heard anything that it's still happening. I think that Umar was like, if because Song I think was a little banged up or something, but yeah, I don't know if they're going to do that. But if they are, and Umar's looking to stay busy, they do the O'Malley rematch, which I don't think they should do right away, but they're probably going to. I don't have an issue seeing Umar versus Song. I just don't think it makes sense, right? Other than to stay busy, because that's also a dangerous fight. I mean, I think Umar wins, right? I think that, you just got to be careful though, because Song has good power in his hands, but I think Umar beats him. And then there you go. That's a win over Sandhagen. That's a win over Song. So that's, 2 top 10 opponents. One, Sandhagen was number 1 at the time, right? Or number 2, number 1, whatever. So that was a big win. And in my opinion, I don't care where you're ranked, you could be unranked. If you beat somebody that's ranked 1, 2, 3, something like that, and you beat them impressively, you should get a title shot, in my opinion. Now, Chimaev going out there doing that to Whitaker, that's a little bit more convincing to get a title shot. But if you go out there and your first 5-round like fights that you've been in the UFC, right? For Umar, 5-rounder, fight night headliner against Corey Sandhagen, one of the most complete dudes in the division, who's on a nice win streak. You go out there and beat him over the course of 5 rounds. That's impressive in its own way. He was taking him down. He was striking well on the feet. So maybe not a statement victory, though. I could see how people could argue that, but I still think that when you get a win like that, it's good. O'Malley doesn't deserve that rematch. It should be Umar who's next. Yeah, they keep skipping contenders, and what they're doing is they're just picking and choosing matchups that are going to sell, which I get. I get that from the business angle, but by the same token, that's why I was like, why does Dana care about the rankings so much? It's not like they follow them. They don't. They just pick and choose who the bigger fight's going to be, which I get that from the business side, but also Umar he's a pretty big name, dude. He's got a big following on social media and shit. So he's got a big name. Nurmagomedov, that name holds a lot of weight, but then again, he goes in there and backs it up. He wins. It's not like he's a bum. He's good. He's probably the best fighter in the division. Just doesn't have the belt yet. Song, in my opinion, is not going to crack the top 5 as long as he's still at Team Alpha Male. That's a good point, man. I feel like I think I said this before. Guys seem to hit a ceiling at Alpha Male. Look at the record, the track record. TJ Dillashaw, Cody Garbrandt. Yeah, those are the 2 that come to mind that were at Alpha Male, did very well, but then moved on. And I know that Dillashaw went with Dwayne Ludwig, who used to coach there, but then went to do his own thing. But my point is, these guys seem like they hit this ceiling at Team Alpha Male because it seems like they box and do wrestling. Watch Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett is a Team Alpha Male guy still, I think, right? Big power, boxing, wrestling. That was what Garbrandt, that's what Dillashaw was. And then Dillashaw went with Ludwig. Garbrandt went to, I think he's over with Eric Nixick, right? So, but then he was with Frankie Edgar's coach. What's his name? Mark Henry over in New Jersey. And you saw him add kicks into his game. You saw him become a lot more patient to where Team Alpha Male, these guys just seem like they rage and sit in the pocket. And I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, you're right. I feel like maybe he's maxing out over there. You think they might make Song versus Umar in January? Merab wants to conveniently fight during Ramadan. I know it's always convenient, isn't it? They love to do that around that time. But I mean, if that's what it takes for Umar to stay active, I understand why he wants to fight. So yeah, before Ramadan, yeah, I mean, definitely before Ramadan. So yeah, I mean, him versus Song is compelling. I'll definitely tune in to watch it. It sucks to me because I think that he should be next for the title, but yeah. What's up, Todd? How you doing, man? I appreciate it. Yeah, me and James Lynch does a good job too. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Growing slowly, but surely, man. Lopez versus Emmett is in the works to be the header for UFC Mexico City. I know Lopez wants to stay active since Volk is getting the next title shot, but this is not a smart move by Lopez at all. I mean, yeah, it's risky, right? Because anytime you're on the brink of possibly getting a title shot, like what Shavkat is doing against Ian Gary, you have to respect that because Shavkat had a title fight. He had a title fight. And if he goes out there and loses to Gary, which I think there's a real possibility he loses to Gary. This isn't some layup. And if he loses, you're going to have to win another probably 2 fights to get back in there. To fight for a title. And if Diego Lopez loses to Emmett, I mean, because the thing about Josh Emmett, I think Diego Lopez can win, but Josh Emmett, he has that nuke. And if you get hit by that right hand, it's putting anyone in the division out. Anyone. And it takes a very technical and patient guy to beat Josh Emmett. And Diego Lopez is he's got good power and good hands, but he gets a little reckless. And if you decide to get reckless with Josh Emmett, that could be a problem. I still think Lopez is going to win, though. I do think that he'll beat Josh Emmett, but it's a risk. Anytime you go in there with someone with power like that, it's risky. So, but yeah, Volkanovski, his career is about to come to an end, man. I'm telling you, that guy will lose to Topuria 10 out of 10 times. Not even a fluke win will happen for Volkanovski against Topuria. None. But Topuria could slip on a banana peel and still find a way to win that fight. Like, there is nothing that Volkanovski could possibly do to beat Topuria. Nothing. His whole game plan last fight was to stick and move. He basically has to be perfect for 25 minutes. You remember when Izzy fought Pereira? And it's like, Alex, he doesn't have to be that perfect. He just has to land the left hook. Where Izzy's got to be like real perfect or set him up and do some, some wild shit. And Izzy, it's a little bit different because Izzy actually has like KO power, right? Izzy's a bigger dude and it's a little bit different. Volkanovski does have power, but it's different, right? He's kind of like he can land a good shot and hurt you, but he's kind of more of a volume type of guy where he just kind of picks you apart. That's not enough to beat Ilya. It just isn't. You're going to have to come in there with world-class grappling, or you're going to have to come in there with like world-class striking that you have power to actually like hurt somebody with one shot. And no one has that. The only one that, Emmett has the big meaty hook, as Tracy would say. But if that doesn't land, no one else, who's hurting him in the division? Unless everyone's been trying to throw that high kick. I kept telling you guys, everyone's going to bank on that high kick to hurt Topuria. It ain't landing. It's not landing. And the guy that landed it, Jai Herbert, people disrespect the hell out of. He's a good striker. And that was that lightweight. Jai Herbert's a lightweight. He's long. He's fast. He's a damn good striker. Jai Herbert is. He just fights a bunch of grapplers and gets taken down, or fights Topuria and gets and that's the thing. He damn near got KO'd, somehow got a takedown, comes out the next round and knocks Jai Herbert's head off. That's scary. So the only person that could beat Islam Makhachev would be Topuria, and the only person that could beat Topuria would be Islam Makhachev. So that's why I want to see that fight at some point. But guys, Volkanovski is not beating Topuria, and he will get knocked the hell out again. People are still delusional. They're like, oh, but Volk was doing so well. He was doing fantastic. Yeah, he was doing a good job, but Topuria knew what he was doing. He had that slow, patient approach. He's like, okay, I'm just going to play good defense, and then I'm going to obliterate the calf, make him a stationary target, come out aggressive in the next round, knock his ass out. It's exactly what he did. He'll do the same thing again. The same thing. He actually doesn't even need the kick, though. That is how good Topuria is. You know what I mean? Not to keep glazing, but I'm just saying that dude we're looking at a rare fighter here, What's up, Elroy? Was looking for your channel since I saw your based video on Tom versus Jones. Had to come and sub. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Appreciate that. They'll probably make DDP versus Hamzat in Sydney for 312. The problem with UFC is that there's not enough events for all of these champions to fight more than twice per year. That's true. Yeah, that's you're right, Van. That is a little bit of an issue, but I don't know if maybe they will do Chimaev over there, because I actually thought of this. After that fight, conveniently, maybe it just is a coincidence, Chimaev isn't he doing a meet and greet in Australia or something? Didn't he? Or he's doing it soon? And I'm like, is that like something to kind of prime the Australia fans? Because he took no damage against Whitaker. He took no damage at all. What's up, Alex? Thank you for the $4.99 super chat. I appreciate it, man. How you doing? Are you new to the channel? I appreciate the donation. Thank you. But yeah, I feel like if they went to Australia, Strickland was bitching about going to Australia to fight, and it's like, you're not the champion. So DDP's defended the belt. Didn't he do it in Australia last time? Right, when he fought Izzy. So why would they go to where Strickland wants for the belt? I can't stand when fighters do that. You're the challenger. You're not the champion. Like, as much as I like Magomed Ankalaev, he's not fighting Alex Pereira somewhere that Alex doesn't want to. Like, it should be fans that are going to be pro champion. You know what I mean? Like, if it's going to be John Jones, it should be in the U.S. to where, actually, I think that the U.S. fans would probably be more behind Aspinall, actually. But you get what I mean. Like, Pantoja should be able to defend in Brazil. Chimaev, if he had the belt, should be able to defend in Dubai or wherever, wherever he wants to. That's the way I look at it. Volkanovski, he should be able to defend in Australia. Like, I just feel like that's, if they can get an event there, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like that's fair. Volk versus Topuria is only winnable for Volk if he is perfect, has incredible timing when clinching, smothering, and shooting on Topuria, not to mention his defense must be perfect for at least 4 rounds. You're right, Luis. You're exactly right. But you know the problem, though, is Topuria's grappling is better than Volkanovski's. That's the issue here. That's what a lot of people tend to I feel like we all, even people that are Topuria fans, like I feel like we all forget because we're like the boxing, the calf kick, the boxing. And then we're like, oh shit, this guy's got unbelievable grappling, really, really, really good grappling. So I don't think I don't think he beats him in the grappling. So he's stuck on the feet and he's not beating him. He's not over the course of 5 rounds. He's going to be dodging missiles the whole time, and it's just not going to happen. I wouldn't even say that he doesn't have a chin anymore. I just think that Topuria's power is just ridiculous. And if it lands on anyone in the division, it's knocking him out. And anyone at 55 too. I think Topuria could knock out any 55er too. If he lands clean, he could knock any of them out. Volk should have fought Lopez instead because that fight would have been more competitive and interesting. Ilya will retire Volk in the rematch. That's how I feel, man. And you know what's actually interesting, Craze, is I actually think that Volkanovski could have beaten Lopez because Diego gets tired as the fight progresses. He starts to slow down. And I think if Volk could stay safe, he could pick him apart because the problem with Ilya doesn't really get tired, right? Where Diego kind of slows down. He's aggressive in the first round, but then he kind of fades. I was actually probably going to pick Volkanovski to beat him. I think that would have been a pretty good matchup for Volk. I even think Volk beats Emmett. But again, those are risks because if you lose to one of those guys, it's really basically over. Like if Volk got finished by Lopez or Emmett, I mean, it's hard to come back from that. If you get finished by Topuria, still hard to come back from that. But it's like, oh, I lost to the champion again. If Ankalaev actually refuses to grapple her, Aztec Demon Pereira and gets KO'd, I'm done with MMA, man. I mean, I think that he'll probably try to mix in some grappling or at least feint some level changes, but he's got better hands. Ankalaev's got better hands than Pereira. People get mad when I say that. He does. Outside of the left hook of Pereira, Ankalaev's got better hands. And he's faster. He's faster. The problem with Poatan, right? So a lot of people don't understand, I think, the intricacies of the striking. Poatan's not fast. He's not slow, but he's not fast. A lot of it is depth perception. That's what happens. And he holds his hands low here, and he does this weird, long mummy guard type of thing. And his shoulders are both square, so when the shots come out, there's no telegraph. And he holds his hands low and kind of moves his head around to slip and rip. The problem is his head is there. Like if you could time a shot down the middle, you could knock him out or you could hurt him. That's how he gets hurt. The straight shots. That's what Izzy figured out. That's how you can get to Pereira. Easier said than done, but a lot of it is depth perception. He leaves his hands low, gets you to throw so they can slip and throw his shots. But he's not his hands are not particularly fast. They're just coming from weird angles. That's what it is. It's kind of like Yuri, but not as reckless. You know what I mean? And his timing is crazy. Like Pereira can keep his hands down because he knows that, like, if he's right here, he knows that your punch is going to get to like right here and just miss. And he like baits you in. He's very complicated. He's got very good like depth perception. And that's how he gets people. It's not because he's so fast or anything. And those calf kicks are a problem too. Resident Ankalaev hater here to spread the word. Bro's finna get KO'd and get sent back to the G League, winning shitty decisions against bums. I don't know about all that, man. What's up, JJK9? Trolling me again, huh? Yeah, I saw something about that for 313, Ankalaev versus Pereira, but I'm not going to make a video or anything until we have confirmation, official confirmation. Yeah, Ilya has explosive takedowns. He would out-grapple Volk. He would. Yeah, so Abdul, it's not the aspect of we think that Topuria is coming in to chase takedowns against Volk. It's the fact that he defends takedowns well, Topuria. He doesn't get himself into trouble with the grappling. Not that he's going to go out there. Yeah, Volk has good takedown defense. I'm saying if Volk came in and was like, I'm just going to wrestle heavy against Topuria, I don't think that would work. Yeah, I feel like the only way Strickland's getting the next shot is if something doesn't work out to where they could do DDP versus Chimaev before Ramadan. That's how I see it, unless they're going to wait. You think Jones should move back down to 205? It's better fights for him down there. I mean, the Aspinall fight's the biggest fight for him right now, I think. Yeah, I think Volk could have beaten Lopez as well. Yeah, Aspinall versus Jones is a big fight, and it's interesting for sure. There's people that don't think Volk could beat Emmett on MMA Twitter or MMA X, whatever you want to call it now. There's people that don't think that Volk could beat Emmett. We were talking about the McGregor thing in the beginning. Who do I think has the advantage, Aljo or Mobsar? I think Mobsar does. I think he's the cleaner striker. I think that he's got better wrestling. The only difference is I think Aljo's got better submissions, and he's more of a finishing threat. But I think Mobsar's striking is way better. Yeah, Volk keeps him guessing. Maybe that could help, but I don't know. I don't think he ever beats Taporia. Thoughts on John Jones running through Aspinall and making all the Tom Sells cry? Listen, I think that in the first round, Tom Aspinall could absolutely knock out John Jones. And if anyone's going to do it, it would be Aspinall. I go back and I watch some Aspinall fights. I go watch training footage of Aspinall. And I'm telling you this right now. If John can survive, which that's an if he can survive, Aspinall will lose. He will. Because Aspinall, the way he hurts everybody is with that right hand. And he feints and enters off of the same rhythm every time. John will pick up on that. John will be a lot smarter IQ wise when it comes to the fighting than anyone Aspinall has fought. John, you could dislike John, you can think whatever. He has a chance against Aspinall. I still think that I would lean towards Aspinall, right? I think that, he's fast, he's nimble, whatever, but John knows that. And I think John would try to wrestle very early, not let Aspinall just move around on the outside and explode in and out. But with Aspinall, it's that perfectly timed 1-2 that hurts everybody, that right hand. And Aspinall sticks his chin in the air as he backs away. I think John would be very, very cautious in the first round. He would try to grapple. He would throw long-range weapons, nothing that would keep him, open to being hit with a right hand. And he would try to just basically wait it out a little bit and then would go after Tom. That's what he would do. That would be John's game plan. You think Aspinall versus Poatan is next? Maybe. Could 310 be the best card of the year? No, I don't think so. Let's say Islam's last 3 fights are Arman, Elia, and Shavkat, and he beats them all. Would he be submitted as GOAT? I don't know. That'd be impressive, though. Lightweight, I could get behind lightweight GOAT. Overall GOAT, beating Elia would be huge. And if Shavkat's the champion. So if he beat Elia and Elia's the champion, that would be big. And then if he goes up and beats Shavkat, presuming that Shavkat would be a champ, beating 3 different champions, because the one in your weight class, the one below, and the one above, that's pretty crazy. And he already beat Volkanovski twice. So you got a point. You hope Mobstar can finish Aljo. Otherwise, the UFC will continue to make him wait for a very long time. They will. And like you said, if it's a finish, that helps him out a lot. If it's, a boring decision or it's just not entertaining, I feel bad for Mobstar because I don't think he'll get a title opportunity. This is your prediction, and you want to keep this, or you want me to keep this in mind for late 2025. Evloev is going to somehow fluke his way into a decision win against Elia. I've never met a fighter more persistent to win a decision. Yeah, Mobstar, he finds a way to win a decision. Dan Hardy said that John ducking Tom has increased Tom's confidence. Tom is even more confident in a matchup against John because he knows John's afraid to lose against him. Actually, hang on. So I was thinking of this the other day. I understand what Dan Hardy's saying. I'm actually concerned that the opposite is happening. Well, maybe not the opposite, but I'm concerned that Tom is getting too confident. You know what I mean? Because if John sets this precedent that, oh, I'm terrified, Tom's like, and everyone's telling Tom, you're John's kryptonite, you're gonna beat his ass. There's kind of that like aura to Tom of like, I'm the guy to take him out. I'm gonna beat John Jones. I'm the guy, to where you almost overlook John now. And then you go in there and then you aren't able to get him out of there in the first round. And next thing you know, you're kind of fatigued and you're getting wrestled. So I don't know. I'm not saying that that would happen, but I could also see where that could be a little worrisome to a degree. I don't know if that makes sense, but to me, it makes sense of Tom being a little overconfident into where now the pressure's more on him now than it is on John. And maybe that's what John's trying to do. I don't know. Maybe John's trying to spin the narrative in case he does lose. You know, he's like, oh, no, and then so that way everyone's like, Aspinall should beat this guy. You could see Aspinall letting the hype go to his head against Blades. I mean, he literally was just swinging wildly and happened to catch Curtis. Surprised no one has pointed this out. So, dude, that's what we were just talking about earlier on my live, man. I'm like, look, Aspinall is good, but if you can make it out of that first round, and I think John could, right, as long as he doesn't get hit by a right hand, he could make it out of the round, and then he would. Aspinall gets tired. He does. He's explosive. I don't care how well you move for a heavyweight. The way that he moves and you're carrying that much weight around, you fatigue. That's like human nature. When you're 200 and what is he? 240, 250 pounds and you're bouncing around like that, you're not going to be able to do that for 25 minutes. You aren't as a heavyweight. So, I mean, I still favor Aspinall, but this like notion that everyone's like building Aspinall up so much that I think he goes in and like I think he's like overlooking Jones, and that would be a mistake. And I think that's part of John's trap here. I think there's a lot going into this John Jones shit. I do think that some of it is like he's not excited to fight Tom, and it does come off as ducking, and it kind of is ducking, but you know. You don't think Jones could easily wrestle Aspinall? Not early on, but as the fight plays out, I think he could. He didn't get tired against Arlovsky. That's Arlovsky, man. That's an old Arlovsky. You agree? You think Tom might become overconfident, then he ends up overlooking Jones? That's what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of like a weird thought, but I'm like feeling a weird vibe here. When everyone's telling you, you're the guy to beat him. He's afraid of you, man. He's afraid of you, man. You kind of go in like thinking that there's nothing that could go wrong here. And I do think Tom, if anyone's going to beat John, it's Tom. But, if you can't get it done early, I don't know. Agree with Giga Chat. I think he's more likely to win by ground and pound after a takedown than catching John. The difference is fight IQ is massive. I don't think Aspinall's taking John down, dude. I don't think he is. I don't think he's taking John down. Maybe. I don't know because he's big, but John's pretty big at heavyweight right now. He's pretty big. He's just kind of slow, I mean, maybe he could take him down, but I don't know. I also think that John, being at 205 for most of his career, he's more technical all around than Tom. He is. He is. Have you seen Weasel saying GSP above Jones on the GOAT list. I get his reasoning for the PED stuff, but literally any other criticism of Jones applies to GSP just as equally. Yeah. I didn't see that, though. I didn't see that. I'll have to check that out. Hey, thanks for the 199, Alex. I appreciate that. Aspinall never overlooks anybody, let alone John. I mean, I would hope not. I still like I said, I think Aspinall wins. That's who I would pick to win the fight. I'm just saying, if he for whatever reason did overlook him, that'd be a mistake. So, but I do think Aspinall would definitely. I think he would win, and I think he's definitely the hardest matchup. Do I think Conor will still sell many pay-per-views given that his aura and everything's diminished? I don't think he's that big of a draw anymore. I don't. I mean, his name sort of for the casual, or no, I shouldn't even say the casual, the people that don't watch fighting at all. And they're just like, oh, Conor McGregor, celebrity, let me watch. I'm not interested to see Conor. I'd rather see Islam Makhachev headline. I'd rather see Chimaev headline. I'd rather see DDP, Bilal, Topuria, these other guys, Izzy. I'd rather see Poatan. I'd rather see all these other guys fight over, champions or whoever they are. I'd rather see them fight over Conor McGregor at this point, to be honest. How long do I think it'll take Makhaev to get back into the UFC? Probably probably like 2 wins. Hopefully and if he could go out there, take someone down, submit him quickly, UFC should just bring him right back. They should have never gotten rid of him to begin with, but you know what I mean. Gustafsson took him down. If Ngannou could take down Stipe, I'm 100% confident Aspinall can get a takedown. Maybe you're right. The MMA community has been silent about the Conor case. I haven't seen anyone silent on X, dude. Everyone's talking about it right now. I haven't seen anyone silent on that. No one's letting Conor off the hook, dude. Slow in terms of like moving around. His hands didn't look that slow. His kicks look fast. His kicks look quick. I think a lot of it too is so used to watching him at 205 to where things look quite a bit different than they do now. They're a little more labored. But I think John's still a problem, dude. Yeah, I mean, I agree. John, I think John definitely has a path to victory. No question. No question. Yeah, I don't know about GSP. GSP waited for Bisping and ducked a real challenge. Yeah, I don't know about GSP being. Did he have GSP at number 1? So John doesn't think he's the only guy willing to grapple. That John gets slept. That'd be interesting to see a grappling exchange between Aspinall and John. Disregard any talk of GSP or DJ being in the GOAT talk. They were pre-USADA, and GSP fought one time during USADA, and that was against against Bisping. Obviously, I don't agree with any of these reasonings for discrediting wins, just thinking it's dumb how people try to downplay a guy's achievements just because they happen to not like him. Yeah, that's a thing that happens in fighting. It happens in sports, actually. People are like, oh, I don't like that team. It's a rival. So I hate all their players. They all suck, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, they still got good players. Give credit where it's due. So that's what I feel like I do a decent job of is putting, whether I like somebody or not, still giving them the credit. I haven't done a GOAT tier list. Maybe I'll have to do a video on that. I've never done that, a GOAT list video. There's a massive speed and power difference between them. Jones has the best fight IQ, but you could be smarter than Bear 2. You will still be in pieces if you're locked in the cage with one. Yeah. I mean, I think John would just basically use all of his tools. He'd throw the front kicks up the middle, spinning back kick from time to time, utilizes boxing at range, mixing the takedowns. He's got nasty ground and pound. He would turn it into just a full-on MMA fight. He would use all his tools to beat Tom. That's the only way he could do it. He didn't even have him number 2. He said Jones is maybe top 3 and GSP number 1. I mean, I think that's a little wild. Do I think Carlos Ulberg gets it done tomorrow? What's up, Sankey? Yeah, I do. I got Carlos Ulberg winning by finish. Yep. Make a video top 15 goats of all time. I'll put that on the bucket list, or not the bucket list, but on the list of videos, because I'm trying to do some other stuff too. But yeah, I feel like that would be a fun video. Very time consuming though, because I got to think about it. I don't even know who my goat is. Like I'm not like, oh, this person's the goat. You know what I mean? Like I don't have a specific goat. I have an idea of who like my top, fighters are, but putting them in an order, I don't know. I'd really have to think about that. That's a good video because everyone's got an opinion. So those videos, I'm sure will all do well. So I was going to do a top most or actually, I'm not even going to say it because in case people are listening, people copy my video ideas sometimes because I don't know, either that or just timing or whatever. But I'm going to keep the idea to myself. But I have a fun video actually that I haven't seen anyone. I don't think I've seen anyone make this video. So I'll make it sometime. You feel like you need to mention, you promise this isn't Dana White's burner. White, as you said, just trying to be fair to fighters. Jones to you is undoubtedly the GOAT. He's definitely in the discussion for sure. Do I consider Tony Ferguson one of the GOATs? No, not at all. I thought Tony Ferguson was very, very overrated. Back in his prime, I even thought he was overrated. He was fun. Don't get me wrong. Fun to watch. You always knew that you were in for a wild ride with Tony Ferguson, but I always thought he was overrated. And Khabib would have destroyed him. He would have. Come on. He would have. Khabib would have destroyed Tony, dude. What is Tony going to just lay on his back the whole time, play guard? He would have gotten destroyed. He would have. Classy, you want to see a GOAT list? Yeah, at some point I'll have to put one of those out. I haven't done that yet. So maybe because I know coming up in like a month or so, we'll have that like downtime from the UFC to where, we got like the new year and all that coming up in like a month. I can't believe that that's a month, dude. That's crazy. That's nuts that it's almost been a year already since Covington fought. Because remember that was the last pay-per-view of the year, and I know he's about to be fighting Buckley, but that was already almost a year ago. That's crazy. It doesn't feel like that long ago. But I'll try to save some of those like creative videos for then when it's a little bit of a downtime with the content. Yeah, Jones had some favorable matchups and guys back in the day that weren't maybe necessarily complete fighters like they are now. The only natural light heavyweights he fought, he took them tooth and nail and lost to one of the 5 that he fought in Reyes. Yeah, yeah. What's up, Entertain? How you doing, man? Yeah, the Stipe fight was cherry picked. Is Nate Diaz a GOAT? He's not a GOAT, but he's definitely one of the most entertaining fighters of all time, in my opinion. Entertaining. You feel that looking back on Ferguson's career? Do I look at Holloway as a GOAT? Yeah. Yeah, not like the GOAT, but like probably in the top 15. Yeah. Well, not probably in the top 15. Yeah, Holloway. Volkanovski would be in the top 15 because they're the 2 best featherweights of all time. Now Topuria is right there too, though. Topuria is already because he knocked both of them out. So, you got them, John Jones, GSP, Demetrius Johnson, Anderson Silva. Yeah, there's a long list. I'd really have to think about that because I don't know who like my GOAT is, and I don't know who the fucking 15 are. That would be the GOAT. So Colby once a year Covington. Yeah, like remember I used to joke about Paulo Costa. I'm like, Costa's got a fight coming up. It must have been a year by now, and Covington's the same way now. Aspinall's been bigger than all of his opponents too, except Volkov. These aren't really logical critiques of a resume. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's unbelievable. He's like the Jake Paul of the UFC. All the featherweight champs are incredible fighters. That they are. They're some of the most skilled dudes that we've seen in UFC history. Blades and Volkov, they are real heavyweights. So Spivak. Yes, Spivak's a good win. I've always said that Spivak's a good win. Yeah, Jose Aldo's another one. Yeah, he's another one. Khabib is a GOAT for me so far, even though I agree he retired way too early. Domination is an understatement, and I'm more impressed with the fact he was never damaged after every UFC event. Yep, I think Khabib is in the top 15 for sure. For sure, top 15. Very dominant style. Yeah, I know you're talking about light heavyweight. Yeah, at heavyweight, there's a little bit of there's some differences. Alex Pineda's on his way to being the GOAT. Yeah, I think the only drawback to Poatan would be that he hasn't fought. You know, he's had a lot of favorable matchups stylistically. Yeah, Izzy's a GOAT. Yep. Yeah, title defenses do put you into discussions. I agree. I think they do. Yep. Every weight class, they fight guys their own size, including Habib and Makachev, who everyone says is weight bullies. But they make the weight. And if you're a big dude and you're cutting all that weight, you're compromised from such a crazy weight cut, though. Alex Pereira might be the GOAT. I don't know if he's the GOAT. I don't think he's the GOAT. If Tom becomes champ, who does he fight next besides Gon? Mostly going to be rematches. Yeah, unless Pereira goes up. Unless Pereira goes up. You think Silva's the middleweight GOAT? I mean, him and Izzy. It's between him and Izzy. Who should Alex fight and beat that you wouldn't say is a favorable matchup? I mean, everyone talks about Ankalaev as like this, but Ankalaev doesn't really utilize his wrestling, you know? And at light heavyweight, there's really not that guy, that kid, other than Ankalaev, if he decides to wrestle, right? Against Jan Blachowicz, he faced some adversity with the grappling. I don't know. I feel like if you could beat Ankalaev, that would be huge. That'd be huge. That would kind of be that matchup where I'm like, okay, you know? I still love Pineda in my top 15. I'm just saying that would make him higher if he beat someone like that to me. But yeah, Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gahn is a fight that I want to see. That's a fight I would stylistically, that's a fun fight. Although I think Aspinall would probably just take him down and then sub him. So I don't know if it would be that entertaining, but stylistically, they're both fast. They're both, fun to watch. I don't know. Who could Alex fight and beat that you wouldn't say is a favorable matchup? I just answered that one. Whoops. That's my point. Even if he beats Magomed, it'll still be a favorable matchup. Hard to see the stigma leaving him. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. But again, that's also a product of the weight class. They don't really have anybody in there that's like that grapple heavy style that could give them an issue. Do you think we could ever see Hamzat versus Alex? I mean, I think that would be really, really special. That fight. I think there's a chance if Hamzat can become light heavy or middleweight champ in 2025, and Pereira doesn't go up and fight Aspinall. I could see that fight happening. I just don't know if Alex will take the fight though. Because they're going to want to do a heavyweight. They're going to want to do Poatan versus a heavyweight. Like presumably Aspinall, if he was the champ, they would want to do that fight. You know what I mean? And they're not going to want to risk him versus Chimaev because then Poatan loses the belt. Now you don't have him going up to heavyweight because I think that's what the UFC is eyeing here. They're eyeing him being the first three-weight champion. But you know who I think could be a champion? I don't think he could get back to 170 would be Chimaev. I don't think anybody at 185 is stopping the wrestling and the submissions. I don't think anyone at 205 is stopping Khamzat's wrestling and submissions. Hell, I even think Khamzat could beat some of these heavyweights, if not all of them, as long as he could get a takedown. You know what I mean? If it's stuck on the feet, there might be a problem. But he'd be so much faster. Have you guys seen footage of Khamzat grappling with some of those bigger dudes? I'm serious. Like that may sound crazy, but I'm not kidding, dude. I'm serious because he is so fast and he's so technical and so strong that those heavyweights get tired. And even if he's so technical, and even the heavyweight grapplers are not that technical, you know? Like I mean, maybe not John Jones and Aspinall could be an issue, but some of the other guys, Hamza could take them down and beat them at heavyweight. Absolutely. He could. Are you stupid to think Hamzat would ragdoll most light heavyweights even now as a middleweight? No. That's what I'm saying, man. I even think he could do it to some heavyweights, if not most. He could take Cyril Gane down. He could take Gane down. He could take Pavlovich down. The only one that I'd be like, I don't know, would be John Jones and Aspinall. Outside of that, he takes every single other guy down, all of them, because he has the fence to utilize, right? Because he can move. He's gonna be so fast, dude, so fast. The way he shoots in on these takedowns is so damn fast, dude. That would be crazy. That would be crazy. Thoughts on Shamil versus Aspinall? That's who John's really ducking, is Shamil Gaziev. That's who that's who John's afraid of. He's going to get back in there again. That fight was too short. That's what I'm saying. We need a quick turnaround. We need a quick turnaround because he took no damage, and he was out for a while there. That would be a spectacle, seeing Khamzat ragdoll a heavyweight. Yeah, it would. It would. We could agree on most heavyweights. Or wait, Khamzat should unironically change his name to the Weasel. He looks like one when he takes him down. But you lose me at Gane and Pavlovich. Khamzat is a problem, not just because of speed, but strength. He loses that element at heavyweight. Dude, I have seen with grappling. Now, the difference is, like, I think Jailton Almeida would be a problem. I think that would be an issue because Jailton Almeida has, like, legit, like, really good submissions, really good grappling. That one would be an issue. But stylistically, just because these dudes are big and strong, it helps. Like, if you're big and strong and you're very technical when it comes to a particular martial art like wrestling and grappling, like you're a heavyweight wrestler, a heavyweight, sub dude, jiu-jitsu guy, that's a little bit different. But when you're just like, oh, Pavlovich is just some big, strong heavyweight that boxes, and you don't have the technicalities with the grappling, you could get out wrestled and out grappled by a smaller dude, man. Like, it happens. And obviously if he gets hit, it's a problem because those dudes absolutely, they knock Chimaev out. But in terms of the grappling, I'm not so sure, man. That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, Chimaev's dude, if you guys have never seen some of these breakdowns out there, the way that he, like, leg rides, the way that he, like, triangles the leg he only utilizes, like, one leg. He does, like, knee blocks. Dude, there's, like, a whole system to Chimaev. And the thing that's so terrifying is it's so scary the way he just transitions from thing to thing. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, with these heavyweights, if he got a hold of them, yeah, they're big and strong. They're just, like, used to just standing back up because they're so big and strong. They're not used to, like, okay, how the hell do I – not all – some of them maybe – but they're not used to, like, figuring out, okay, how do I get my leg out of this position? And by the time they do that, Chimaev's already on to the next thing. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen videos of Chimaev in there hip-tossing dudes that are way bigger than him. Like, it's nothing. Holding him up against the fence, shooting, a low, what's it called? Low double leg or whatever. taking people down. Like, dude is crazy, man. He's crazy when it comes to the grappling. Not MMA related, but Kendrick Lamar just dropped a new album and it's fire. I didn't see he dropped a new album. Derek Lewis for reference. Yeah, if you could time a, but again, that's Curtis Blades. He has poorly timed entries. What's up, Jagger? Jack, do I think Usman Nurmagomedov should go to the UFC ASAP or build his legacy at PFL and move to the UFC later like Chandler did? I don't think he should wait as long as Chandler did. But the issue is the reason he's not going to do it yet is because Islam is the lightweight champion right now. Once Islam moves up, then Usman will come over. But no, I don't think he should wait too long. So that's just my opinion, though. I think that Usman can probably beat outside of Islam, which they wouldn't fight. You know what I mean? They're not going to fight. Outside of him, I think he could beat everybody else. There'd be some hard matchups in there. Like I think Charles Oliveira would be a hard fight. I think that Arman Saryukian would be a hard fight for him. There's a couple of matchups, but I think that he could be champion in the UFC. You've seen video, and it would absolutely help his legacy for sure. You've seen videos of Derek Lewis shove a 300-pound man off of him multiple times like it's nothing. I don't think anyone at middleweight and light heavyweight, but don't let me hype. No, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I think Paul Hughes has a chance against Usman? So I just made a video, actually. I think it was like yesterday or 2 days ago when the fight was announced. And I talk about it more in depth than what I'm than on here. But I think Paul Hughes has a chance. I think he's got good power in his hands. He's got a good overall striking. He has good takedown defense. He has good takedown offense. The problem is Usman's style of grappling is different than anything Paul Hughes has faced, right? So even though Paul Hughes looks good against AJ McKee when it comes to the grappling, AJ McKee, he's just basically a straight wrestler. Usman is that Sambo style. He's chaining together submissions. He's advancing positions. He's he's got good ground and pound. But the other thing is he's dangerous on the feet. That's the other issue. You could get caught with one of those wild ass kicks. But I definitely think Paul Hughes has a chance, but I still think Usman beats him. I think Usman is the real deal, man. Bo versus Hamzat. You're losing brain cells. Book Bo against Ikram. First, I want to see something. Yeah, Bo versus Ikram. I'd love to see that fight, actually. I love that matchup. Didn't Ikram call for Bo a while back? I think he did. I'd like to see that fight. I think that's a good matchup. But yeah, Bo versus Hamzat, it ain't happening anytime soon, at least. Buckley said in an interview he thinks Gary beats Shavkat. How crazy would that be if Ian versus Bilal? How do I think that would go? I could absolutely see Ian Gary beating Shavkat. Like this, people that don't think that Ian has a chance, I think you're wrong. I think Ian Gary absolutely has a chance. He's going to be really fast for Shavkat. Shavkat's kind of slow. But Ian Gary versus Bilal would be kind of wild. I think that Bilal would win, though, because of Bilal's style. And he's quick. His hands have improved. And he could just keep level changing, taking you down, letting you work back to your feet, wearing on you. A little bit of a different style than Shavkat. Shavkat he just kind of moves forward. He's got some power. And if he gets a hold of you, looks for submissions. It's a little bit different. He just doesn't relentlessly shoot takedowns and not get tired from what I've seen, right? So different styles. But I think Ian Gary's a problem for Shavkat. A little bit of a problem for Bilal because he's got good kicks. But so, yeah, I still think that Bilal could be Ian, though. What's up, Dev? Jan season. I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited for Petr Yan tomorrow. What do I think of Allen versus Yair? Allen called for Yair. I like the fight. Give Yair a striker, man. I don't know what the UFC is doing by giving him these people that got good grappling. Give him a striker. We want to see Yair strike, man. He's one of the most entertaining strikers in the UFC. But I think that's a good fight. Because you just saw Arnold Allen out there against Giga Chikadze, which I think Yair versus Giga would be a fun fight. But yeah. The man sub Wonder Boy with a broken hand. Yeah. That was crazy. That was crazy. But yeah, I think Allen versus Yair is a great fight. I think Arnold Allen is he's very technical. He's good overall. Yair's long, he's wiry, and he's fast as hell. And it's been a while since we've seen him fight. Didn't he fight in February of last year? So it's coming up on a year, I think. So I'm excited though, man. I'm excited for the return of Yair. I love watching that guy fight. They kept giving him these matchups where people are just going to keep, and I don't blame people for wanting to try to take down Yair. I wouldn't want to stand in front of him either. You know what I mean? Dude hits hard. He's fast. He's got good timing. And when you got good timing and you get hit by something, it doesn't feel good, right? Because when you get hit and it's like you're expecting it, it's like, oh, you're kind of prepared for it. But when someone's got good timing and you don't see the shot, it just hurts way more. Hurts way more because you weren't braced. So yeah. But a couple more and then I'm gonna hop off here, man. Yeah, Max did take the Yair down. It's something irritating. Irritating people in the MMA group on Facebook. I think it's called MMA Community. Yeah, I'm in that one too. I think you sent me that one. Yeah. Yeah, people are always on there talking shit, man. Do I think Izzy would grapple against Shara? No, I think he would outstrike Shara. When is Yair fighting again? We don't know yet. Maybe early next year, probably. So, but I appreciate it, Classy. Everybody have a good rest of your day, man. I appreciate everybody tuning in. If you haven't seen some of my new videos, I made one on Jan versus Figueiredo, an in-depth breakdown. I did also the main card breakdown for this weekend's card. Something on Bo Nickel, had some fun with that one, and then what was the other one? Usman Nurmagomedov versus Paul Hughes, that fight announcement, and I break that one down. So make sure you guys check it out. Thank you all. See you next time.